Here we go. All right, so going to do a couple quick things here. Team Barles, Team Miguel. Perfect. Testing our words per minute. And wow, we actually, for the first time in this series, are going to have... Let me just fix this. We are going to have Samaro up against Noisig. So they've kind of swapped sides. Interesting. And we have Samaro playing as the Incas up against Noisig, who's playing as the Vietnamese. So he will know who he's up against there. On the other side, we've got Andy, who's played the flank every single time. And Andy is going to be up against Barles. Barles already has the walls down. You've got Barles playing as the Indians. You've got freaking Andy playing as the Turks. Now, this just has castle drop written all over it. But because of Barles walling so forward, the castle will not be near as effective for Andy if that comes. You could always stonewall back here then later on. I didn't play in this tourney. So to the person asking what team I'm on, I'm actually not on any of these teams. I thought about it, and I've been going back and forth. I've been thinking I should have played, or I'm glad I didn't play. I'm not the biggest Black Forest guy, so it probably was good that I didn't play. But happy to be casting it now. What's up, Timmy, by the way? Okay, so wall position, one of the most important early game things on Black Forest. Samaro going for forward walls. I think this will be denied. Got the scout support here from Miguel. In the yellow, Miguel's playing as the Ethiopians. Bratton, who's on the other side with the scout right now, is playing as the Persians. Now, this wall position is interesting. Also, there's a villager here that could be trapped. But they're going to kill a villager from Imperio. Wow, Imperio loses one. Okay, scout goes down there for Imperio as well. And now the villager gets brought in from Andy. Andy's not going to just sit here and wall it. I think he should wall it. But live your life. I think you should wall it because Imperio can always just send another vill, right? It's not like you're going to get more scouts, but that's me. That's a non-Black Forest player thinking. These guys like to make it crazy. And that's certainly part of the strat here. Okay, so the weak villager goes back to finish the wall. I love that. And then the stronger villager goes out to shoot the deer. And actually, if Teal isn't careful here, Teal could also lose this villager because Andy still has the scout with the villager. And this scout is very weak for Gray. We're going to see Andy go for some quick walls. Matt is sending the scout to support. Andy's just having fun. Meanwhile, walls did go up on this side. We see Barles here, by the way, as Indians. He's just sitting back behind one little wall. Hasn't really had to deal with anything. I think with the forward wall position for Barles, it would make sense for him to rush here. It's very difficult for the opponent to ever wall behind this much. So if you go for a tower, they'd have to wall way out here. I would personally like to see Barles go for some type of rush strategy. There is a pond here for Noisig, so he could use that. And then there is a pond down here, but that is completely blocked in. So the only pond that can be used is for Noisig. I think a little bit of luck was needed earlier with the map gens, and we didn't really see it for Miguel's team, but they've got a pond now. It looks like the villager for freaking Andy went down. All right. Here, let me tab out real quick. There we go. I have chat fixed. I'm telling you that I think Barles needs to rush here because I think the best play with Turks on Black Forest is to go for... Oh. Wait, did Andy see that? Did Andy see that? Will Andy see that? Oh, so sneaky. Barles deleted a wall, replaced the palisade, and snuck in. And it's almost as if he never did that. It looks exactly like freaking Andy would expect it to look if it was a full wall with villagers hiding behind. These villagers are sneaking now. And they're going to try and hide. Now, Andy's clicked this villager home. So this is another opportunity where Andy could see this. And I don't think Andy did. And Barles is going to try and wall this up now. Andy's sending another villager, which has 10 food. I'm not sure about that. Oh, are the villagers going out to get the boars, maybe? Anyways, he should know now. Andy should know about this now. Barles, though, walls this villager out. Now it'll be a 2v1 engagement, and Andy is not going to be too pleased with this. Andy, I think, was actually heading forward to try and wall this. Now that I look at the palisade foundations. And I think Andy could stop this, but right now, Barles is on the way to feudal, and I love this. I think this is a perfect play for him. Also needs to bring his sheep in. But going for, like, man-at-arm archer pressure in this area is going to be really effective. Okay, palisade walls go down. Sneaky stuff from Barles, who wants to finish this barracks. You do need to be able to comfortably build the archery range, right? You need to keep your villagers alive, and that's what Barles has been able to do. I'm expecting a lot of booming otherwise. We might actually have stable support. Sometimes you'll see someone in Teal's position come in with stable support, or Mratin's position. But I don't see a barracks from any of them yet, so I don't think we're going to see that. And it will be militia. And with militia, now at this point, freaking Andy should know. So think about this. Freaking Andy had villagers walling and running around the whole time. Okay? He doesn't have cheap villagers like Indians do. Now he's going to get rushed by man-at-arms and by archers. It feels like this is just not a good situation. That said, at the same time, I should probably mention Barles made one militia and is now getting attacked by a bear. Barles is going to be making archers, which is not so good against double palisade walls. So Andy, who is a good helpful teamwork here from Miguel. Miguel's pushing him a deer. Miguel's like, eat it, take it. He's like, thank you. Maybe Andy can get away with this. Barles is still not taking the sheep for some reason. I do not understand that. Looks like he forgot about it. Is just going to use this area. The stone wall also has stone walled here, so he's just going to play it safe. And maybe he's going to switch out of his aggression. I don't know. First to Castle Age is going to be Miguel, the captain for his team. He's Ethiopians. Plus 100 food, plus 100 gold when he arrived to feudal. We'll get the same when he arrives to castle and imp. But that means you don't actually need to take gold. If you don't get loom, you do not need to take gold to go for a full boom with Ethiopians. Over here, you got a dock here for Noisik. Not seeing any signs that shenanigans will come. And then, same thing here for Samaro, who's gone monks a lot today. But I think he's actually going to go Stonewall and Boom. And maybe even a castle drop. But the first thing he does in feudal is he's going to get the walls down. Because he doesn't know for certain what the opponent's going to do. Which team do you think has the better civilizations, chat? I'm going to drink my water here as you answer that question. Incas, Teutons, Spanish, Indians versus Turks, Ethiopians, Persians, Vietnamese. I honestly think it's very even. I think there's a lot of back and forth conversations you can have with this matchup. Like, for example, you think Teutons, lots of infantry, lots of siege, lots of paladins. Well, Turks, bombard cannons can snipe the siege. Gunpowder, good against infantry. You then say Indians for Barles, lots of camels, lots of maybe elephant archers. But then you look over and you've got siege and great infantry on the other side. I think rats and archers are actually going to be key, though. I think if red can get to a lot of rats and archers, there's not much Incas can really do to stop that. You would need to have a lot of siege support from probably the Teuton player. And then, of course, if you have Spanish, you have the trade bonus, which maybe is what is going to make them be the favorite. That combined with their ability to go Siege Ram, Paladin, Bombard Tower, Bombard Cannon, and you're getting more gold per trip, could be a pretty big deal. The trade route's going to be interesting, though. From, like, here to here. Feels like a pretty easy cut for Noisik, right? Like, normally, I guess they'll probably trade over towards green, because that's safer. Yeah, and I guess we'll see purple make the markets here and then here. I don't know. Anyways, there's the TCs from Maratin, who's had a very big, boomy game. And I guess they realized that Barles, wasn't going to make much. And he just has one archer. And that archer is just scouting for sneak villagers, I think. Just scouting for sneak villagers, that's it. I just joined the stream. Can someone tell me what's going on? 4v4 Black Forest tourney, Chris. Scores 2-1 in a best of 5. That's exactly what's going on. I think there's a chance we see a... No, there's a very high chance we see a castle drop from Samaro. Has 500 stone already. It's cheaper to build castles with Incas. Also has double mining camp on gold. Doesn't have a lot on wood. I think this is going to be some type of all-in play from Samaro. Maybe monks, maybe siege, but most definitely castle drop. You would think. I guess like fast imp into a lot of trebs to try and take out the Vietnamese castles would be important if you don't want them to get to rats and archers. Yeah, sorry. If I yawn while I'm streaming, other people yawn. My bad. I wish with Capture Age, I could scrub things from the minimap. Like this, for example. I keep looking at it, but it's Palisades from earlier in the game. I wish I could scrub that from the minimap and stop looking there. Because instinctively, I'm like, oh, what is that? Every time I see it. Okay, Andy is not on stone at all. Okay, is now going to stone just to get enough stone for the TC. So no castle drop from Andy. And whereas over here for Barrels, it's going to be no castle drop, and it's going to be TCs. Town centers and eco should be much easier to do that with Indians than Turks because of the cheaper villagers. Andy's faster to castle age, so I think this is really good for Barrels. This castle has me so confused. It is fast imp. Okay, it's going to be all-in monks. It's going to be monks and trebs, just like game number 1. Samaro beasted it with Aztecs. Oh, man. I have to say, his fast imp treb build orders are near perfect. Like, what in the world? And red is still 2 minutes from castle age? I guess red has 58 eco because of the fish. But still, that's a lot of resources, and it takes a long time to kick in. Wow, this is impressive, man. This is impressive. So yeah, he's going to go trebs. He's going to go monks, and he's going to either treb around the walls and go through the trees, or he's going to go for trebbing down the walls. But you're at the limit with resources, and we have a pause now. This game is live, so. 4 TCs from Ratton. Right now, it's at 62 eco, who is ahead of Teal. The Teal, though, is on 4 TCs already, so it should be a bit closer soon. I actually really like the monk play, Gargo. The reason I like the monk play is because I don't think Incas can do anything against Vietnamese when Vietnamese get rats and archers. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, well, go Eagles. Eagles will not work. Eagles will not work against rats and archers. I don't think they'll work well anyways. And it's especially not going to work well because Miguel will probably have, like, a lot of siege. Or could go for, like, Shotel warriors or something. So, if you're worried about that situation and you want to kill fast, monks can get 12 range and early imp with just 1 upgrade. And then you go monk treb, and they've got to place their castles back. If they even place the castles, you could push them off of resources. And then most importantly, also, hello, Greg. You could push through with your trebs, and then the paladin player can support you. So 5 TC boom for Matt. Incredible boom. He consistently goes for 5 TCs from the pocket. And if he shows up at the proper time, and they've broken through here, I think it could be bad for this right-hand side. Hello from Japan. I'd love to go to Japan someday. Someday. It'd be a lot of traveling for me. In terms of the places that are really far away from me I want to go to Japan, and I want to go to Australia. Those would require like 2 days of travel. And if I'm there, I want to stay there for a while. For obvious reasons, but yeah, happy to see you. But I love this because, like, I always say Age of Empires 2 is a game of time windows. And so your time window is closing the longer this game goes, I think, with Incas. And so he feels the best thing he can do is go monks. Now, what's amazing from Red is that Red is maybe expecting this, and Red is going fast imp as well. And Red is going to make these buildings and then click up to imp. And then you've got 63 eco versus 37. And what you should actually want to make is light cav with all that food. If he knew, like he sees Imp now, and he can see the castle and he can see the monks. It's not normal for Vietnamese, but what you should actually be going into is light cav, right? Something to counter the monks, and you just forget about the rats and archers, because you don't... Rats and archers won't do anything until you have the mass. Whew. I lived in both and can make some great recommendations. Really? Awesome. Well, this is not the time in my life where I'm going to be traveling to Japan or Australia, so maybe a couple years from now. Going to be doing less traveling, not more. Okay. So yeah, I'm kind of flipping back and forth on this. Obviously, the eco is pretty close as a whole, but there's a very big difference between red and blue right now. I like the fortified wall tech. I understand the hesitancy to make light cav because that's not your best unit. And now we've got walls here for Noisic, as you should do. Mistake in game 1 was they didn't wall it out fast enough. That was their biggest issue. Samaro, let's look at his economy. 4 farmers. Everything else is on gold. Just going in on it here. And we have the green player. Not going to support with paladins. Is actually going to support instead with siege and halberdiers, it seems. Great job from Samaro. He cuts the trees. You rarely see this. And he doesn't know about the castle, guys, but he's going to see it, and he's going to say, oh, thanks. I'll just shove that down now. And this is why the situation's so sucky for red. Now, again, if you were amassing light cav, which I think he could have done, you know, like, I'm not sure about having the wood for all the buildings, but certainly has food, right? If you try light cav, maybe you can hop out here, and you don't even need to be an imp, really. You can kill that, but it's still so tough because that is 14 monks. You would need to have that many light cav, and then the opponent can always add a few Kameyuks, which are actually good against light cav, so it's just... This is so in your face. It's so much pressure. And I think that for Noisic is going to get pop capped soon. It's trying to go for trebs. This is just not going to work. On the other side, just a lot of walling. Okay, and if we see this, right? If we see the fortifications, this normally means this player here is going to go over here. And that should mean the same thing on this side. You can see that Maratin's thinking the same. So everyone is going to go to the right side for now, except for maybe these two. Maybe the Turk-Indian players will fight a 1v1. I don't know. But red can't take his gold. He now lost a castle. And that's one less castle he can make rats and archers with. Australia, but not New Zealand. Well, New Zealand's apparently amazing as well. So, I mean... I think there's probably more... I don't know. I haven't done a ton of research on it. But my aunt and uncle were in Australia. They said it was one of their favorite trips. And I also have quite a few viewers in Australia. So I think if I were to ever go somewhere, I would like try and do some type of like an Aussie meetup, you know? I think that'd be cool. Full on monks from Samaro. He's like, make military, guys. I want to convert it. I need military that's not just monks. So please send it my way. I think he's got redemption. He definitely has block printing. Redemption is needed so we can convert siege. Miguel is going to be making bombard cannons. Now, for a player like this, they're not really looking at much else. They're always babysitting their monks, because if they lose the monks, the game's kind of over. For him, anyways. We have siege from green and Halbs. You see another castle, and this is a little awkward to push into. If these walls weren't here, then they would take that out no problem. But it's awkward to find a good spot for the trebs, and maybe a spot where Miguel can start to pick off some of these monks. But look at that. You see the monks? They're already focused on that. Miguel pulls away. Where is the army for purple? Oh, I guess he's clicked Paladin before he really has a lot of army. We have Paladin on the way for Imperio as well. Supplies coming in from Matt. So he's thinking champion, maybe. Okay. I like the patience from Team Barles. There will be a big push over here eventually. They're just not doing much right now except booming, but that will happen. But right now, this is the most important area. The Cav were going to dive in. They see the Halbs. This is why Green wants to go champion. Monks will still wait. And every time they have an opportunity, will go in. Like, you see how difficult that is for Miguel? But he did kill some monks there. He cannot stick around much longer than that. But if he could flatten some more units here with Torsen engines. Oh, and he's got it, guys. There's more splash damage with Torsen engines. And boom! Get splashed on, monks. Oh, gosh. That was so risky, though. Miguel's playing this so good. He's playing this so good. What? Great bomber cannon micro from Miguel. And now Red can actually make some rats and archers, which is good against the infantry from Green. You see, the position they're in is not good. It's not comfortable anyways, let's put it that way. But they've taken the score lead. And did they not have Torsen engines? Oh, they have it on the way now. And more monks just continue to go down here. And now we've got paladins, and this is at a point where you could actually consider it full-on engaging. You have to consider the blue's probably not going to be perfect with the monk micro. They want to push here because they know how awkward this is. They know that it hasn't worked as much as they want to, so they're going to go for it here. You have a lot of monks going for conversions of paladins, bombard cannons. Look at the monks. Red has to use the castle to focus down monks here. If he can. The paladins engage. This is the HP. There's so much more HP for Miguel's team. And I'm still looking at the bombard cannons. They're still there. The monks are converting paladins, but the bombard cannons could maybe snipe the monks. We've got Wololo after Wololo after Wololo after Wololo. This is insane. And there's still so many monks standing, but not for long. Not for long. The monks are going to go down. Blue's got nothing now. And if they could push this now, if they could just circle this into a push against the castles and whatnot, they could win the game right here. Now, over here, it's still very peaceful, which is surprising, right? But Teal's not finished yet. Teal's going to be sending in that support, and Matt's not finished yet either. But this is why I talked about the rats and archers. See, now, having rats and archers in the mix will take care of any infantry. And there's no real good counter out there to infantry for the for Team Barles. Now, I mean, these are still not elite rats and archers. They still don't even have chemistry. There's a lot of things missing. He's going to need more castles. He's actually just mixing in skirms and halbs. But, I mean, it's a lot better than just a few monks. That said, that's a lot of siege onagers. Holy crap, is that a lot of siege onagers. And we still have yet to see what the plan is for freaking Andy here. They're just being so peaceful. I want to look at the trade numbers real quick. Whoops, I changed the colors. Whoops, I did it again. The trade numbers should be there for you. So I'm going to keep that up for the time being. That's a very important detail in all this. Makes sense that Barles and Andy would have more trade than anyone because they're not really fighting as much right now. Also, really like the walls here from Red. I think that makes sense. We've got elite elephant archers coming in support. So we've got 4 players here. All of Team Barles is working together here. We're not seeing much from freaking Andy. But most likely, freaking Andy... Oh, that shot! Oh, and there's another shot, too. Torsen engines is insane. Yeah, my guess here is that freaking Andy is prepping to make an actual push here. And yeah, he is doing so, which is why he's not over here. Did you say Team Barles has no counter to infantry? They have Toons and Incas. I did say that. They have nothing out here, which is a counter to infantry. Can they make stuff? Yes, but it's still all vulnerable against the rats and archers and the bombard cannons, right? So I'm not talking about... I mean, who do we have here? We've got Persians. Yeah, there's also... You could make elephants. There's plenty of possibilities, right? But in this unit composition, it is going to be really tough to stop rats and archers as it stands. These bomber cannons, too. Remember, things like hand cannons are 40 HP. They're very low HP, and they're very vulnerable against the siege. It's a very complicated stack right now. Yeah, that's what I meant when I said that. How many kills do these bomber cannons have? 82 between 11 bomber cannons. 82 kills. A lot of those were monks in siege, too. This is looking very good for them. I mean, these still are not going to feel good when you start to hear the conversion sounds. I also should mention that you can't really use your own monks if you're against the team of Barls because they have Teutons and they resist conversions. But who needs that? Who needs it? Blue's trying to recover economically, by the way. He's tried desperately. He's at 82 eco now. But, guys, they're losing everything here. And then you've got freaking Andy making a push through the gut. He's going to head this way. So this is definitely looking like, I mean, with 150 military versus 90. And I think the army composition potential in the long term being stronger for Miguel's team is looking like we might get to a game 5 here. And after the first 2 games, I thought it was going to be a quick and easy 3-0. Let's see if Team Barls can hold on and make this game competitive. Drag it out. Because remember, they have Spanish trade. I wanted one type of game today, guys. I wanted the type of game that would drag out and go back and forth. We haven't seen many games go past the hour mark. I'm hoping we see this one go past the hour mark. I'm hoping that Team Barls can hold. They are getting more trade per trip because they have Spanish on their team. What I'm not liking is the lack of gold units right now for Noisig. I'm really not liking that. I am liking the fact he's getting cav armor. That tells me he might debate on going elephants. Like, I suppose right now he wants something. But, you know, he wants to get to a point where he's not making trash units. He wants to be making something else. Now, for Samaro, it's back to the situation I mentioned we'd be in. And he doesn't know what to make. The Kameyuks aren't exactly bad. But I think Elite Kameyuk's 80 HP, and you compare that to some of the other units that are out here. And with their attack and their HP, it just doesn't feel quite as strong. So, this is a situation where I think Miguel's team needs to go for the kill before the Spanish trade really starts to kick in. And a lot of that is happening right here as you have freaking Andy trying his best to move in. But he only has bomber cannons. He's got 11 military. 175 eco. Holy crap. Now, I make this, I laugh at this, and I'm like, wow, that's an overboom. I did this exact same thing in the Black Forest game last month. Because you look at your Vil count, and you think, okay, 122 is fine. And then you've been adding trade the whole time. Like, in your mind, you're just like, add military, add trade, add villagers, add military, micro-military, add trade. Oh, my God. See what I mean about Halbs? Like, no, get it out. But yeah, also goodbye to that castle at the same time. So yeah, he looks like it's something he's realized. I do love Kameyuk as a unit, by the way. It's one of my favorite units in the game. I'm sad we don't see more of them, but maybe I'll be proven wrong here. It feels like a good time to get Kameyuk if we're going to see elephants from the Vietnamese player. I don't like the fact that he's showing the elephants right now. I would prefer he show the elephants after he's got full upgrades. Also, the Arbalest choice, that castle looks funny. It's an interesting one. You can see over here that blue knows that there's only this tiny wood line there. So that there is a potential to cut into that trade. It feels like it's going to be more complicated for... Oh, what the... What's happened here? Oh my God, Matt just cut the whole way through the middle. What? Yo, what a game-changing play. Cut the whole way through the middle with one siege onager. The paladins are now into the trade, and I was just about to say that it seems easier for Team Barls to access the trade of the enemy. But I was not expecting that. I was expecting this, and they'd have to run into walls, and they'd have to break through the walls. There's no walls here. Miguel tried, but you can't wall out this situation because there's going to be trees that can always be chopped. Marathon's going to deal with this, and Miguel does re-wall this now simply because the siege onager's gone, so more paladins can't go in. But there's another siege onager. And again, I ask, where is freaking Andy's military? He has just really struggled today. Maybe he doesn't know what to make, but freaking Andy needs more than 0 military. Whether it's Janissaries or Cav Archers or even Hussars, you need something, man. You need something. He actually has more trade income than anyone, so he's going to have resources, but maybe against the Indians, he's struggling to know what to make. Still only see crossbow. We still only see... Okay, they are elite rats and archers now. I'm happy with that. There we go. Now that's elite rats and archers, combined with some elephants. But again, you know, to be critical, the elephants don't have the final armor upgrade. You got to get some more things going here. And that raid has affected everyone. You've got Purple getting hit and having to react. You have Miguel still having to clear up paladins, which is so annoying. And with that raid, Team Barles takes the lead, my friends. And they're actually pushing back here with the cameos. We're starting to see more monks now. Well, they died, but there's still more monks out here. What a great fight back here from Team Barles. And it's something I talk about in 1v1s a team game. Switch the focus. You're struggling, hit them somewhere else. Make them react. Constantly have that mindset. Hold in one area, force a reaction in the next, change the game, and oh, jeez. And because Andy doesn't have any military, it's 185 eco. 186 eco. Oh my god, that's got to be like a record or something. Gray could just float the pop space in the military, and he's going to run right into the trade route. If they kill this trade, and they have Spanish trade, this is going to catch up with Miguel's team, and this could be problematic. Okay, there is one paladin here from Ratton. He got into the trade as well. Credit to him for that. But Andy, my friend, you've got to look at your eco right now and realize that something's up. Now, he's not floating resources, so it doesn't feel like he has that. It definitely did either lose some eco, probably because it's trade, or delete some eco. These chonkers, still no final armor upgrade. And we are seeing the Miguel's team, I guess, fall behind against Madri's team, I would say, pretty heavily. Like, right now, the military count is really high, though, for Miguel's team. Miguel himself at 61 military. And great job from Andy, starting to mix in the Sipahi Cav Archers, 100 HP with Turks. Also adding the Bombard Towers into the trade route. And Marathon's going to drop a castle there. So they're cutting this off. And look, and Andy also defends here. So it was a good work from Imperio to say, okay, we're forcing reaction somewhere. Let's tread this down. But Andy defends it. Crazy. These Bombard Cannons are so satisfying. This group has 211 kills. And Miguel has done such a great job of keeping them alive. All right, guys. Now, again, we're going to talk about military population here. We're going to talk about economic numbers. Is the military population high enough for red? I would say it needs to be a little bit higher. Is it high enough for purple? That's a hard no. Is Miguel going to lose his Bombard Cannons? Yes! A massive score swing with that. And that damages Miguel. He lost about 8 of them there. And purple, of course, he took the bulk of the damage from that hit. Also has to do a lot of work to address this. Okay, this is where I would really like to see Madri, or not Madri, sorry. I keep thinking Madri when I think Barles. They're the same person, right? I would really like to see a cut through here. Like a cut through and then Paladin storming into freaking Andy's base, I think would be really effective. And yeah, okay, they're just going to cut around this way. Especially now that you see Andy's on this side. And you just did take out a lot of Miguel's siege, so it's not like they're going to push. They're probably just in a hold scenario. Just keep swinging it over here, and that's what they're doing. It's funny, though. The trade is all the way back here. So that's probably what these Elephant Archers are looking for. But these Elephant Archers are also no joke. We talked a lot about different units in this game, but Elephant Archers, guys, 7+4 attack, but 350 HP. We got 9 Pierce Armor, so they really don't take a lot of damage from range. And I just love the constant production from Team Barles. The constant spam, the constant commitment to some type of a push. It's like they're always doing something. Everyone's always doing something. This military number is looking better now for freaking Andy, though. Looking pretty bad for Miguel. Looking pretty bad for Purple. As Purple has fallen into the same trap. 135 vills, 41 trade. Can only float pop space for so many paladins. Villagers will die, though, here, so that will help with the pop space issue. But this... To me, it kind of feels like, even though the populations are close, it feels like this is going to be GG. What a great comeback from Team Barrels, who I think showed earlier on why they deserve to be moving on here into the semifinals of this tourney. Imperio and Matt, two players you don't really know about if you follow the 1v1 scene, because they don't really have a well-known 1v1 reputation. Showing that in team games, teamwork matters, Black Forest experience matters. I know Barles and Samaro knew those players. Barles was the captain. I'm sure he's played with them in Black Forest tons of times. And so Andy had to swing over here. I think, like, was there not an opportunity for Miguel and for all three of them to kill Blue after they killed the monks? Like, Blue was at 50 eco. That was their moment. They had to push further. Full credit to Matt, by the way, and to Teal, because they just kept showing up with stuff to hold it. And Samaro's like, T90 said do not trickle treb. So what am I going to do? I'm going to send forward 14 trebuchets. Oh, God. It might be one too many. Haven't been totally impressed with Cav Archers in my Black Forest casting today. I don't know. It just feels like, yes, they're strong, but sometimes it's all about having that buffer. Units that need to hit and run. Oh my God, what's happening? No! What just happened? That has to be a misclick from Red. Oh, all the rats and archers go down. Everything's dying. Teuton Siege. Siege Onager. Maybe proving to be a little bit better than bombard cannons. Still, somehow, the military count is even. Freaking Andy, because he lost eco, now has tons of pop space for Cav Archers. And he's got 12 Cav Archers in the field. Now, he won't do that much damage to these Elephant Archers, so he'll need Paladin support. But still. Murder holes coming in. Oh, geez. You've got random units killing villagers in Andy's eco. Andy recently started playing RM over the last 2 years, but he always played Deathmatch, which is very different. You start in post-Imperial Age, so when it gets there, Andy is a really incredible player. And so maybe he's starting to turn on the speed a little bit, feel a little bit more at home. But I want to check the, is there a way to check the trade again? I wish I had a trade comparison by team, but there's the trade stats. Andy has 80 trade cards. Feels like the ratio for the other team seems to be a little bit better for their military pop space. And they don't need to make as many trade cards to get the same return because they have Spanish. And now you're starting to see Eagles mixed in. I still think Elite Rats and Archers are going to be fine against that. And Miguel's going for SO. And so Miguel, he was fine with the 10 or so bombard cannons earlier, but he really needed something more. And boom, he gets it. Great job, Miguel. It just brings me back to, yeah, Rats and Archers are great here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Siege is still king. This is the area that's the problem, though. 1,000 lives have been lost in this area. Men continue to have to run forward and climb over their brothers and their fathers' dying bodies, but there hasn't been a ton of progression. It's happening, but there hasn't been a ton. This is where the progression has come in, and this is where they start to feel like they're losing this game. And it's only going to get worse over here because they have to go to Andy's side and to Marathon's side. 15 trebs. Now 10 trebs. Slowly taking out these towers. Making progress. Worth saying, the elephants still don't have the final armor. They're still tanky, 420 HP. Still something, but it does always hurt to see that. Are the civs better? Or was it the gameplay here? I think both. I think I think the civilizations are slightly better for Team Barrels, but I think how they played this was also so much better. They had some great plays. And this here, guys, is going to be the end. These elephant archers cannot be dealt with. The trade is going to start to drop. What will happen again is their trade numbers will dip, so they'll have more pop space for military. But there's going to be another jolt, another influx of military. But the economy will be worse in the long run. Appreciate the fighting here from Andy, who's starting to push back these buildings. He's got siege rams. He says he's not done yet. Highest military count in the game. Barrow's getting heated shot, by the way, which is kind of funny. Pretty sure he knows what that does and how that doesn't help him here. If he takes out this castle and they clear this, they've definitely still got a shot. They are losing ground on the other side, though, and fast. As we have castles going down, towers going down, production buildings going down. Emiux OP, just like everyone said. Emiux OP, let's go, baby. I gotta look up Matt 107's 1v1 rating, though, because he has honestly been a beast. Imperial, I've heard of. I think he's 17 or 1800. I've seen this guy around. I know he's a solid player. Genuinely had no clue who this Matt guy was outside of Black Forest games. Still don't know who he is outside of Black Forest games. And they put him in carry roles, too. Like, they put him in boomy roles. So, oh! Wow, both players losing a lot there. Still, stat-wise, things are pretty close. This is a grind, but the trade, my friends, the trade. So difficult to kill these elephants. Stand there. As much HP as a castle right there in the middle of your trade. I think red's going to be the big problem now. Okay, I think it's no longer... Well, no, it still is. Oh, wait. 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 Andy's making a move for the trade. Andy out of nowhere into the trade with a lot of cav archers. They're desperate. He's probably telling his team, hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm in the trade. I don't know how you say that in German. Nice trash. But I'm sure they're speaking English anyways. I highly doubt a Brazilian, Chilean, and Swedish person know German. But, oh, jeez. Actually, freaking Andy isn't even German. That was a really bad joke. I don't even think he's German. I think he's from another country, somewhere around there. The holds continues for Noisic. But, man, the military population for Miguel is so low. It feels inevitable. The trade is still going to be lost here. He's Austrian. They speak German as well. Okay. Okay. All right. That works. Yeah, my bad. This should be dealt with. You also have to defend your base. That's what sucks. You got to try and micro down trade. You can't just sit here. You have to try and micro it while also defending your base. So it's not easy. But Samaro and Matt just destroyed this side. Yeah, red's going to try and go for some stuff on water, but look at the trade, guys. The trade has gone way down for everyone. Trade count is insanely high for the other team, not to mention the Spanish trade bonus. What a great game, though. What a great game. I'm really happy that we got to see this one. The first two games, for anyone who's missed it, we're not so close. The third one also wasn't really that close, to be honest. Just games where one team would gain a foothold and win. This is the first game after 7 casts of this tourney today where there was actually a comeback. And there was actually some crazy swings. But when Team Barrels swings it, they keep a hold of that position. They make the most of it. So maybe when Team Miguel pushed here, they needed to get a faster push on this side or something. I don't know. But this hole was opened up, I believe, by freaking Andy. And Barrels says, yeah, keep that open for me, please. Because I'm just going to run right in. And the GG is called. Well played. Something that's complicated and takes a lot of Black Forest experience is that weird ratio of I need to have normally around 100 villagers. I need to have, like, however many trade carts. That can be, like, upwards of 50. And then I also need to have good military. And the military that came out seemed to be just enough for the northern team, for Barles' team. But 109 military right now for Samaro is crazy. That includes trebuchets. And that includes, how many buildings does this take out? It doesn't tell. And that includes the cameos. I still can't get over the fact that Samaro went full-on fast imp, 1 TC monks and trebs, okay? Lost all of that, except for maybe 5 monks. And now at this stage ends up with 110 military. Samaro was absolutely insane in this game. He should be bottom score in the toilet, kind of like Red is right now because of all the pressure. But he was able to add trade while he was rebooming and hold on with his monk. I mean, that was just so good. I have so many good things to say about how Samaro played that. I think Matt as well. Like, Matt had excellent support, but I think it's harder to be a beast with Incas than it is to be a beast with Teutons. Teutons are well established with their paladins, their siege, their eco. But Incas? Top score with Incas? Crazy, Samaro. Well played, dude. Well played. There's the KD for you. You can see that Samaro and Matt were at the heart of it. I think Miguel was making progress, but maybe he needed Siege Onager a bit earlier. 12 bombard cannons was working so well for him. Didn't have quite enough to back it up. It was very difficult. I can understand now. Like, Rats and Archers, I felt would be really good. We never saw the numbers I wanted to see, but maybe that had to do with the Siege Onagers from Matt being out there and the fear of losing those Rats and Archers. I didn't see Red really commit to a lot of something. We saw like 20 or so Ratans, 20 or so Elephants. But there was no like unit that was selected that said, this is my thing, this is what I'm doing, let's commit to it. We had a lot more commitment on the other side. Freaking Andy had more gold collected than even Barles. Barles apparently was sending some resources to his team. Good communication near the tail end there. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so there was a point where Barles must have sent a bunch of stuff over to Samaro. That explains it. That explains how he was able to recover. He received resources so he could reboom. But still just really good team play, really good play from Team Barles as they move into the semis. I don't know right now if this is a game that ends up hitting YouTube. I don't know about that. It was the best game that I've seen. Look at all those texts. I think Black Forest is a really special, unique map. I think that, well, with what I always try and do, I always try and bring variety to the YouTube channel, variety to my content, because Age of Empires 2 has so much of it. So I'll just say that near the tail end, I don't know if I'm going to cast any more of this tourney yet. I would like to. I don't know if that stuff's going to come to YouTube or what, but hope people enjoyed. And I'll have the full best of 5, even though you kind of have the spoilers. If you want to see the earlier games, I'll have the full best of 5 in the description. If I remember. I might not remember for this because it was the final game. GG.